And hello to all my Taurus friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for October 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Tauruses a storyline spread. Storyline spread is a great spread for general readings because it casts a very wide net across the entire sign of Taurus. We're going to be telling different stories for different Tauruses, going through different things in their October. It's like a bunch of mini readings in one. And although you may have different parts of different stories that resonate with you, the whole goal is to find the story that is all about you. And that is what we're going to do today. We're also going to conclude your reading with an extra spread. Spirit has asked that I do an animal totem for you guys. This is going to be one animal totem. Animal totems are a bunch of fun. And since we're doing one of them, it is going to basically talk about the characteristics that my Tauruses can exude right now into their October to really push great change. We're also going to conclude your reading with the Rune Stone, go through chemistry tracking later in your reading to see what Tauruses are vibing good with, what Tauruses are not, or maybe what signs they should avoid in the month of October, and also end your reading with homily. So we got a lot to talk about, guys. Let's get started right now, and of course your moon cycles too. I always go through that with you. Let's get started right now, guys. Cards are ready to go. Rune Stone's ready to go. Everything's mixed up. I do the card work ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in my overhead so you can watch. I'd like to share my table with you, show you what's going on, what I'm working with. These are my ritual cuts, cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. It satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot, and it is the same procedure for personal private readings. So it's just like you're here with me now, guys. By the way, hit that like button. Let's get that energy going up in here. We need Taurus's energy way up because the like buttons have been not being pushed lately here for Taurus. So Taurus, we got to get on that bus. So here we go. Any storyline spread starts with 5 cards. These are your base core 5 cards and arguably the most important. We're going to need more cards than this, I can already tell, because of facings. Facings are what's done here. We have some inverts, but that right now does not matter. We need to get my end. So this deck is wonderful, actually, for storyline spreads, too. And we're still going. I'm off the camera, though, now, so now I'm going to come down here. The most we go, well, we got our stop order right there. And I know that because this person is looking back this way. This deck makes really nice storyline spreads because the facings are really great. So pretend it's in one long line, at least for right now. Now, my inverts, as it matters for right now, it's getting close to that edge. I'm going to wait to see once we get the stories picked apart to see if those need to be uprighted or not. So right now I got to get my pairings together, figure out what story goes to where. So these 5 cards, this is going to be one humongously long story. Coming down here, we have a standalone story here, and then this is going to be a story also. So we're looking at 3 different stories, guys, for my wonderful Tauruses. Now I got to get the extra cards. That probably, well, we'll see what happens. Major Arcana card here with the High Priestess gets 2 cards to describe it. Pip, pip, pip. We Knight. We need to see if that's about a person or the energy. They say the energy. I'm still going to leave that card here, though. And that story is complete, minus the Oracle Angel card, which we'll get momentarily. This being a standalone story, now that I got my story separated, I can do them in any order I want. It's going to call 2 cards to describe it, and since one of them is a king, I do need to see if that's about a person. They say no, so we're using energetic definition there. That's going to be about family, guys. Family and relationships. And then when we come over here, we have 2 pip cards. Well, this one's a court card, actually, so we're going to see if that's about a person. They say no. I'm going to leave that in the spread, though. And that's pretty much good to go with right there. So all the card work minus the angel cards, which I'm pulling right now. Every story gets one of those. That's going to be inverted, so that's going to be checked here momentarily. This one, good to go. And then this one gets that Oracle Angel card too. So now the inverts are going to matter. This story is good to go because we have mostly upright over here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera because that is cut off a little bit here. I will show you in a moment, but we do have 3 out of 4 blocked, so I'm going to do a discard to see if Spirit wants to upright the whole thing. They say nope, we want to leave it just the way it is, in fact, but my Oracle Angel card goes up. Now, the big story, that may have changed things a little bit. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inverted, not enough to matter actually, so that's not even worthy to be checked, so we're good to go, guys. Just a matter of showing you on the screen. We can get to work. So this is that one very big story. In fact, I'm going to save this for last because it's huge. This is going to be your story number 3. Story number 3 going right there. I'll try to show you a little closer. This one can go up. Message in a bottle. Okay, so that's going to be story 3. We're going to start with this one, actually, the one about the family, love relationships. Story number 1 will be right here, story 1. Story 2, we're going to come to this side over here. Got no place like home. Also probably talking about the home environment. And some money stuff in there, money and health. And All right, let's get to work. Let's do it. Alrighty, Taurus. Story 1. Start right at the beginning, shall we? No reason not to. Hope you guys have hit that like button. If not, hit it now, guys. Hit that like button. You got to do it. So, story 1, the attachment card. What this could be to figure out if this is your story or not, right? They talk about taking care of your people, doing things the right way. By the book with my Hierophant card. He is the pastor, he is the priest leading his congregation in that same way. If you are the leader of your congregation, your family unit here, they could very well be talking about you. This could be your story here. So this is a card about taking good care of your people, but also doing things the right way. So there can be zero toxicity here. Okay, Taurus, we cannot have nothing toxic here, especially in October, especially if this is your story. It's got to go, because what they show next is the Sun card. This is the best card in the tarot deck. The only issue is, Taurus, is we got it on a block. We got this thing sucker turned around. So we need to get this turned around here in October. I'm not sure what that is, but you might have a better idea than I do of what they're referring to, because it's basically showing that the energy right behind something is so good. It's so good, but there's something in the way. There's that one stinking rain cloud that is just in the way. We got to get it out of your way. That's basically what they're showing. The next thing I have here is my King, and this is where they said not the person. So this is more about the authority in your love corner, being, holding yourself accountable, holding other people accountable for their actions too. Very much that kind of vibe with your love corner. And the love corner being a big place, it's anybody close to your heart here. It's not just your love pursuits. What if you're single? What if you're in a relationship? Everybody has a love corner. Everybody has people close to their heart, close friends, family members, etc. So they talk about really being authoritative here in October with the family or with your dating or with whatever they're describing. And they show actually that you guys have done a pretty good job of this. So this is a little bit of applause, but at the same time, you're going to need to continue doing it. And here's why. Because they show mending. So this is a healing process. There's something that has been getting put back together here. I don't know if that's people, relationships, or if that's just different circumstances for different folks, but that's what they show. They show kind of putting things back together. And because of that, it could be a little bit of a surgical procedure. Maybe, something you got to tiptoe, walk on eggshells a little bit, handle with care at the very least. So there is your story 1, guys. Story 2, we're going to move over here. And we're going to talk about your moon cycles kind of right with the story, because they talk about here late in October. This is a very much message toward later October, guys. And with me not doing mid-months anymore, the whole redesign of these readings is really to encapsulate whatever you're going through in the entire month in this reading. And this is a big push here for end of October, guys. Very big push. The first thing that they bring in to attach to here for some of you is very much going after something. This is very offensive, especially when it comes to work and making money. A lot of you here are taking action, they show, in the month of October, and that's very good to do that. You're going to want to continue taking this action because the messaging comes in later in the month. It doesn't mean to just wait until later in the month. What it means to do is that you need to be looking, you got to have your eyes open right now, right here, for something in that work corner. Work corner is a big place too, guys. It's work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement, if you're of that age, hobbies and interests for most people, the JOB, also entrepreneurship. So all that stuff is what they're talking about here, really going after something there. And that is so you can really improve financial situations in October. They show that money messenger comes in later in October. That's what we talked about late, and that is also why we're going to be getting into your moon cycles here. This is very full moon energy, so it almost makes me feel like you getting rid of a bill. You getting rid of something with health. This would be like purging a habit, getting rid of something that has been bringing your health down, okay? Getting rid of that. Maybe it's just a bill, like I said, that's bringing your financial situation down. So this is the best time here, guys. Let's talk about those moon cycles. Well, they're talking about the full moon here. This is what happens in the end of October. I'm gonna give this to you guys in reverse here. So end of October, it's actually the 28th. That's when the full moon happens in October, and this is the best time to get stuff out of your life. So that's why we talk about it right here. It's the best time for my Tauruses to purge things, break habits, get anything out, even if it's a person that's really toxic here, whatever they're describing here. If it's got to go, the end of October is an ideal place to do it. The energy's already there to do that. Now let's talk about the new moon very briefly. The new moon is right smack dab in the middle of October, guys. So that's the best time to bring anything new in. Now, the beginning of October, we're going to be dealing with full moon energy from September. So it's kind of like the first third is full moon, the middle third is new moon, bringing new things in, and then the last third is going back to full moon, kicking it out again. So that is the big one for you guys for story 2, as well as the new moon, letting you guys know the middle of the month is your target for if you're trying to bring anything in new. And of course, that's for any story, not just story 2. So Back to story 2, back to the details about it. They talk about no place like home, so that they want a lot of you to do this kind of work at home. Maybe this is like looking for a new job while you're at home, maybe looking for something that you can do at home, something like that. They bring in your environment around you is very important there. Maybe consider places that are close by opposed to far distance-wise. They also talk about rest and relaxation. So a lot of you guys here are going to be finding a nice, fun, peaceful vibe in here. October brings peace. So that is a good light at the end of the tunnel. Good reason for you guys to get to that place, because finding peace is very, very nice. It's basically saying a break from the busy, break from the chaos. Things are getting a little bit calm here as we wrap up story 2. So that, of course, is late October. And now we're going to get all the way up here, guys, into your story 3. Also want to tell you, Pet Connect launched last month. Pet Connect is a reading to connect to your pets, our loved ones that have all, etched on our hearts. We love our pets, and Pet Connect is a reading to do that. Now the video is available to show you all about the Pet Connect reading, and I have it at a very affordable introductory rate, guys, so check that out on the website as well. Story 3. The first thing they want to bring in with story 3, the connection card, is very much about things you do not know. This is about like, hey, if you don't have all the information right now for something. Maybe you're trying to figure something out or put the pieces together or decide what you're doing next in your life, but hey, you don't have all the information, so it's hard to make decisions when that's the case. This can also be a card about no education, like you need to be more educated for something else, get an accreditation for something else, go back to school for some people, something like that, or just learning. The internet, this internet age that we all live in, it creates a great environment for us to learn things. A lot of us can do that for absolutely free on the internet if it's something that you need to learn or know how to do, that kind of stuff. So that's what they talk about first for story 3. They talk about action with health, action with money. When we're reading for Pentacles, guys, Pentacles represents money. It also can represent health. So I try to give you both in a general reading, and that is why you need a personal private reading. And that takes all the energy away from all your Taurus friends. And instead of reading the Taurus bubble energy, we're just talking about you here one-on-one. So it's very specific and much more accurate in that format. And I encourage everybody to do that. I have a wide variety of services available, scottsagent.com, guys. So in a general reading, action can be with money here that they're talking about, putting money into college, putting money into whatever this learning process is. So it's not just what I talked about being just free. You can actually invest this kind of money and effort into this as well. It can also be a health message, like I talked about, action with your health. A lot of you are learning new things to improve your health, and that is a great thing to see. Great thing to see, and some of you, it could be double of that, where you're actually putting money into fixing your health, getting a personal trainer, joining a gym, buying a treadmill for the house, starting a new diet plan where the meals come to you, or whatever this is. So that's really what they talk about, action in story 3. The next thing they show here is manifestation. A lot of you here is powerful for the new moon, so this is a more middle of the month type of an approach. But really, you guys can attract great things here. This is wonderful. You can make this be whatever you want it to be. Really, it's basically saying you have all of the magical ability to manifest and to make this into whatever it is that you are trying to build and construct. And for some of you, deconstruct. The next thing we show here is my Two of Swords. So you guys are driving a little bit blind. You guys are a little not sure about what you're doing with this and how to get there. And that's okay, because they show that either way, you're going to get there. So because of that, it's kind of like your spiritual GPS. If you get turned around, it's just going to reroute you back on the right path. So don't worry so much about should I or shouldn't I, or, do or don't, that kind of thing. It's going to be okay. Don't sweat it. Maybe wait until you get all the information. You don't need to make any rush decisions here. The next thing we show here, guys, is the Two of Wands. This is coming in an invert here. So here they're talking about they want to kind of bring an intention here to local energy. There's local energy that is being blocked. I don't know what that means. I view it as local, like close to you. So there's something in your close proximity that they're saying you're not paying attention to or not enough attention to. You're missing something that's right in front of your face, okay? They want you to stay big picture, but they also don't want you to miss, so see the entire forest. But don't miss the tree that's right in front of you. Maybe that tree has a beehive or a wasp nest, something that you should either, be aware of, booger bear in there, something like that. So localized energy is what they talk about there, and something you're not seeing. So that maybe is a little piece of advice from Spirit there. The next thing we show here in this very long story is action with the love corner. A lot of you are making actions. That can be anywhere from dating, to getting to know people, to just going out with family, seeing them more often than usual, something like that. It's a love action. Somebody that you care close about, you're doing action with them in October. That checks in good. And if that's something that you've been like, oh, should I or shouldn't I? Spirit here is saying, absolutely you should. Cupping in good. Action with that love corner and that family. And they're saying a lot of you have not great authority here with this. So a lot of you have either neglected it, let it kind of go. You know, our relationships are just like plants. They need water. They need a little sunlight. They need some nurturing here. So something to consider for October for a lot of you, especially here in Story 3. And the way that the month ends for you guys here, I'm going to get into the Oracle card in a minute, but the Tarot card talks about a small success. This is a nice little win for you guys. I don't know what this is, but it's Spirit's point of view, it's a small win. And small wins should not be discounted because they grow into large wins. It's, you know, one thing adds up. One little rung on the ladder, next thing you know, you're up at the top of the ladder. So one rung at a time. Small little win there. In Story 3, they talk about message in a bottle. So the other side is trying to communicate with you. Okay, message in a bottle means that they are trying to get the messages through. So you got to be aware of that. You got to be on the lookout or else you're just going to miss all of it. So that is something that Tarot is really great for too. If you feel like there's some kind of messaging that you need to get, maybe something that you're missing, maybe from the angels, maybe from a deceased loved one of yours, I have different products for that type of stuff. Messages from heaven is loved ones. More like the angel messaging there, I have angel protection and animal totem package for that. So there you go, message in a bottle. They're trying to get those messages through for my great Tauruses, so be on the lookout for those in October. So there we go, that is your main storyline. Let's get into your Rune Stone, guys, while I'm looking at all of the cards. They're already shuffled up too, but I am going to give them one more swirl. And here we go with the Rune Stone for Taurus for October. It's going to be this one right here. This is the Rune Stone of Signals. Signals. Where did we talk about signals before? Oh, you know, we just finished that with message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Look for the signs. Look for the signals. So they are trying to make this abundantly clear here. You know what, Taurus? You got to open your eyes in October. We're trying to make this very clear for you. Get, you know, any kind of that driving blind there in Story 3, we're trying to make it very clear what you should be doing, which is wonderful. Get that information together so you guys can make the right decisions possible. Signals at Story 2, they're talking about doing things and getting on the offensive with work and getting the money on track later in the month, getting that rest and relaxation. They're trying to give you the signal there to localize the energy. In fact, they kind of gave you that message on a couple stories. And then Story 1, we have signals here with, hey, you know what? You got to do things by the book. It's them letting you know the sign here is doing things correctly and staying authoritative and staying firm with your family and your loved ones and your love pursuits. Staying firm, holding your ground. So there we go. Signals, Rune Stone through all the stories. And now it is time for your animal totem, guys. I'm cutting this in separately because I almost forgot your animal totem. I just got finished with the rest of the reading there, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't do animal totem, and I promised him animal totem, so I gotta go back and get this animal totem done for him. So here we go, guys. This is your animal totem, available as a personal private product on scottsagent.com. If you want to see what your animal totem is, instead of just all your Taurus friends, check that out. Animal totem is a very intriguing reading, very interesting take. So anyway, for Taurus, last month they gave you bull. It's going to be interesting to see what they give you here, because this is the stuff you can put into play right now, guys, and they gave you sheep. Sheep. Interesting one here for my Tauruses, because the sheep can be more of a solemn energy, very, very calm. So they're saying, hey, you know what, Tauruses, you need to turn it down a little bit. Last month you had the bull. That was the, you know, get rough and bust everything out of your way that you got to get done by any means necessary. Now it's saying, hey, this is the month now to let this kind of simmer. This is the sheep. So also the card about love. Or the animal, I should say, the animal about love, the sheep. It's kind of like the sheep in the lion from the biblical references too, where it's saying that, you know, we don't need to go to war here. This is not the month for conflict, not for my Tauruses by any means. This is the month to kind of like play it a little softer energy, just like the wool is very soft and very cozy and warm and comfortable. This is the month to look for the warm and fuzzy, not the month to go to fight and go to war and go to battle. So pick your battles wisely if you do have a battle to be had in the month of October. If there's anything else I forgot about sheep that I feel is very relevant to my great Tauruses, I will put that in the text overlay above my head. We have already been through the Rune Stone, so let's go into your chemistry tracking, guys. Chemistry tracking is an interesting and fun one that I do, and I do the card work ahead of time so that we can just get into it and talk about it right now instead of waste time and reshuffle and all that stuff. So chemistry tracking for Taurus, they gave you guys both. They gave you week and strong. Let's talk about who Taurus is coming in weak with first. It's going to be Sagittarius, guys. Sagittarius and Taurus are just not going to be seeing eye to eye. Maybe the energy's a little off or segmented, or who's to say what is in the way there between Taurus and Sagittarius, but something is. And it may just be a small thing where it's day to day. It could be a larger thing where it's kind of permeating through the month. Who's to say? But let's talk about that strong vibration. Taurus is super strong with Pisces, guys, and this is huge for my singles. Taurus, be on the lookout for Pisces, and for everybody else that's a Taurus, you're just going to be getting along really good with Pisces. You guys will be seeing eye to eye. The relationships will be strong, so there you go with your chemistry tracking for Taurus. Avoid Saggy, attract to Pisces. Very, very good. Next we get into, guys, we've been through it all, actually. We're just going to get into your homily, and that'll conclude your reading. Hey guys, Scott Sagent here, and it is time for your homily 2023 October edition. Today I want to talk a little bit about a realization I had, kind of an inspiration through a tarot card, and it was the Three of Wands. I'm going to float a little picture of it up on the screen here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the Three of Wands from what I call my brown tarot deck. I think it depicts the picture very well, and I'm doing the background here to try to match the energy of that as well here for you too. So anyway, this realization I had is that this woman looking out on the edge of a waterway, maybe in some decks it's a cliff, basically the end of your property, looking out to what chapter is next. It also has to do about chapters in your life. So what is coming next for you? And it made me realize how many people actually don't do things. We wait until the right time to do things. Well, as Buddha says, the mistake that people make is thinking that they have time. And, I terribly misquoted that, I'm sure, but you get the gist, is people put things off and then they end up never doing it. If you go and ask anybody who's successful in a business or who's, gone back to school to take accreditation for a credit course or something they need for college or a master's degree or something like that, anybody who's gone back and done the work, if you go and ask them, hey, do you wish you would have waited to do that a little bit longer? Or do you wish you would have done it earlier? They're either going to tell you that they're happy they did it when they did it, or they wish they would have done it earlier. There's almost nobody who says, oh, you know what? I wish I would have taken that dream trip to Europe, a few years after the fact that I did it. No, most people would have liked to have gone earlier. Maybe they found something they really liked there and would really like to go back and see again. Well, that never happens if you wait for too long, right? And it's just like another silly example, of course, but it's I just discovered a new restaurant nearby my house that I really like. It's actually like a Oriental buffet, and in my head I'm just thinking, all the buffets are the same. They're similar. They're almost all, a little bit different here, a little bit different there, but overall it's the same idea, same concept. Well, I went and I tried this place, and it blows everything else away that I've ever eaten in the area. So this is something, for example, if I had discovered this Oriental buffet the last couple weeks of when I was living in the town that I'm living in, I would have been very upset. I'd be like, oh man, I could have been coming here this whole time. I could have been coming here for years. And instead, I missed this opportunity because I just waited forever. And it's just like so many people want to start businesses and never do. I know somebody who wanted to make candles. They go and buy all the supplies, have everything ready to make a candle business, and then never made a single candle. And it's just like, why? Why wait for the opportune time that may or may not ever come? And just like this card is showing this woman looking out onto the, expanse of the horizon, what is next? Well, what next for you is what's important for you. And the only thing that I would try to encourage from this homily is to not wait for too long, because you never know the timing. The timing sometimes has to be better than it does. If the timing is way off, of course, that's a different deal. But for most people, the timing's either they're unsure of it for other reasons. Maybe they're holding themselves back. That's what happens most of the time. We are our own worst enemies at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, you also need to take risks. You need to do things while you still have the time. And the time is now if you're thinking about it right now. And that's even further reiteration of why you need to go and do things somewhat presently. You don't want to wait for too long. You never know what's going to change between now and then. If you want to go start a business, go start a business. If you want to go start a gym membership or go start a new health kick, go do that. Don't just wait around forever to do it. Wait for the right time. Sometimes you just got to take that little leap of faith. And of course, it is never too late in life. But remember that it is also never too early. So I hope you've enjoyed your homily. I hope you guys have enjoyed the reading as well. Please remember to like and subscribe. I do these every single month. Take care. Have a great October. I know you will.
is right.